good reminder. So as I was saying, my name is Ricot. I'm the founder of the AfriTech Fellowship. My pronouns are she, her, and my favorite coffee order is cappuccino. So if you can please start posting in the chat, what is your favorite tea and coffee order? If you can start introducing yourself so we can get a sense of who is in the room. Don't be shy. Like, great. So we have Antoinette, pronounced she, her, dark roast with cream. Adam Jenkins, from Virginia, cappuccino, what a surprise. And anyone else? Geshna, she, her, from Mauritius, iced tea with honey and caramel. Nice. I might get some like really nice recommendation from this chat. Irish latte from Ryana, also from Mauritius. Karuna doesn't drink tea or coffee. Kobashni, masala chai latte. See, with masala chai latte, it can either be really good or go horribly wrong, with my experience, depending on where you order. Cindy from Mauritius loves flat white coffee. And I'm gonna have to save that chat and invite all of you and get like all your orders custom. So we have Melanie, who loves iced tea and vanilla with milk. Anne-Sophie, cappuccino. Lavinia, cardamom, Ahmed tea. Okay, I need explanation, Lavinia. What is that a thing? Who is Ahmed and why is his tea special?
There's a really nice English cardamom tea, Ceylon tea that is sold in Intermart, and the make is Ahmed.
Okay, I
first drank it in Canada first, and I really loved it.
Okay. Umera, iced latte, mint tisane for Karuna, Natasha. I don't usually order, but love every beverage which is free and homemade. That's a great thing. And Sruti, vanilla milk tea. Awesome. And for those of you who haven't posted yet, you can keep posting so other people can see. Can everyone see my screen? We have Navisha, only green tea. Can someone give me a thumbs up, Anne-Sophie, or will you see my screen? We're good.
Yeah.
Good. So all of you on the call, for the most part, have heard of AfriTech or know about AfriTech. So I won't be too long on these kind of my presentation because I'm not the one being assessed today. And so welcome to the Capstone online presentation. The purpose of the AfriTech Fellowship is to empower African women as key contributors to science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So I know we have all been on Zoom before, and we're all familiar with how to use Zoom, but I still want to make sure that we respect each other's time when we're presenting. And so basically, like, as you all know, sorry, I have so many screens. That's better. Now I can see you. So while your friends and colleagues and everyone else is presenting and it's not your turn, to please keep yourself muted. You can keep your camera on or off. It's up to you. I think the most important buttons is like muting and starting and stopping your camera. We have a Google document that you will see that will be posted for questions in the chat. You can use those for questions. You can use the chat directly, or you can ask questions to the fellow by raising your hand at the end of a presentation. And everyone is welcome to ask question, like even fellows, cohort 1 and 2. If it's your friend's presentation, please like, do not hesitate to ask questions to know what each of us is doing. And I want to give a quick shout out to the AfriTech core team. So like I've said, I'm the founder and the director of the AfriTech Fellowship Program. And I apologize, I have a million screens. So if it looks like I'm looking away, I'm just making sure that, and Sophia, I'll let you take care of, we need to admit anyone else. And so yes, I want to give a quick shout out to my team. Angel Carré, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. We have a special thought for her tonight, who is our facilitator and marketing coordinator, and Anne-Sophie Virasamy, who is our communication assistant. I will say though, AfriTech is just more than this for people. We have some wonderful people on this team that supported AfriTech. We have Lavinia Pillay here, who helps us with the M&E. We also have alumni from Cohort 1 that have supported this cohort, and I really want to express my gratitude to you for being here on this call tonight and still showing your support to the AfriTech Fellowship even after you graduated. So huge gratitude for all of you who's been supporting AfriTech since day one. So why did we start AfriTech? So the idea for AfriTech stems from the idea that there's a definite lack of representation of women in STEAM and research out there, with only 30% of the world's researchers being women, and showing that for the schemes that go out by the MRIC, only 15% of the applicants are women for a study conducted between 2013 and 2018. To know that we are currently living in a small island state, and we have seen increasing deforestation in the last decade. And what I will say is we're also facing intensifying climate change and natural disasters. And to have more diverse and inclusive leadership is pivotal to our survival as a country and as people. Women are more at risk of, when it comes to natural disasters, environmental disasters, and social disasters that occur not only in Mauritius, but globally. So that is the core problem that AfriTech looked at first. And we chose the demographic being women in STEAM that we wanted to support through 4 core themes of the program. And the first one being geospatial technology, because we felt that there was a deep need for women that are leaders in our community to understand spatial concepts and to become critical thinkers of spatial concepts, especially how to use and apply geospatial technology to be drivers of digital transformation. The other core theme is project management, because we simply live in a world where we have limited resources, and it's very important for us to be able to, as leaders, to understand how to allocate these resources and how to manage our time. And this is why you were all given fellows a structure through your product scoping to develop your project with a strict time frame. We also had inclusive leadership, because we have seen the need for have more diverse perspective at the decision-making table, and for us to check in our own biases. And it starts with a lot of self-reflection. And I hope you continue the self-reflection work that we have only started through the fellowship. And last but not least is the wellness theme, which was really embedded throughout the program, but we also created dedicated safe spaces for you fellows and for outside support to accompany you through your wellness journey throughout the last 6 months. What is the Capstone project? So there was an understanding that you could only develop a skill if you had an opportunity to apply the skills, because I'm sure we have all taken a lot of courses on like Udemy and all these courses that we forget everything after 3 days, because you haven't had the opportunity to put it into practice. And this is why it was very important for me to make sure that you had an opportunity to put into practice everything that was being taught through the 6-month program, but also to work collaboratively with your mentors, with your peers and the other fellows, as well as integrating the skills you have learned to tackle a real world problem. Last year's winner, I want to give a little shout out to our award of last year was Manjishta Hamdewal for Cohort of 2022. And her project was focused on the decline of cattle breeders in Mauritius and the need to promote more local meat and milk production and encouraging youth involvement in livestock production. And she created this really beautiful story map that leverage data storytelling to really go back through the path of what is the history of cattle breeding in Mauritius, how has it evolved over time, as well as this interactive dashboard that summarizes basically key figures around cattle breeding in Mauritius. And, you know, dashboard takes forever to load, so make sure your dashboards are loaded if you're going to share your screen. And so, you know, this interactive dashboard really leverage another really powerful data storytelling tool that allow the users to understand the trends that there's currently for cattle breeding in Mauritius. And there is a very important community aspect to this where Manjishta also goes on to tell the stories from farmers with testimonials from them about the challenges that they are currently facing. So you have, if you want to see more about this, I will invite you to explore our AfriTech Fellowship Geospatial Gallery that showcase the GIS products created by both Cohort 1 and 2. Currently, Cohort 2 only have their story maps for those of them that chose to share it publicly. And this interactive platform basically allows you to see the story map, the presentation, the top 3 winners from Cohort 1, so Manjishta, Umera, and Anne-Sophie, who were the top 3 projects for Cohort 1. And yeah, I'm gonna like wrap it up because we are almost at time for fellows to start presenting. But before I do, I want to congratulate Cohort 2, so 2023, for your amazing work. You have worked really hard to do this these capstone projects. This is it. This is the end of the AfriTech journey. This is your last assignment. This is the last little trial that we're going to put you through. We appreciate how you've shown up and you're still here after 6 months. You're still here. Like, it's a huge win. You know, you didn't disappear. I think this shows tremendous courage because you're all very busy women that are really hardworking. And for those that couldn't make it to the end, it doesn't mean anything to their character. It just means that priorities shuffle. So I really want to celebrate all of you and congratulate all of you. And yeah, if you want to support AfriTech and you don't know what AfriTech is, Anne-Sophie has already posted, because she's wonderful, the link tree in the chat. She's on top of it. And you can find the GIS gallery that I mentioned with all the wonderful GIS products created. And you can also follow us on all our social media platforms for updates about our fellows. And that's it for me. Now the floor is to group 1. I'm gonna start sharing the screen. So
I don't know if group 1 is ready because like Ryana, is your group ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay. And also I will be, as you recall, I will be contacting each the team member, like team leader. So please reply when I ask if you're ready. Then I can inform you also. Good?
Yes, good point. Please just answer Anne-Sophie, but when she's telling you, she will also give you a 5-minute warning. So at 5 minute 5, she will say 3 minutes left, and then she will say 1 minute left. And then At times, she will say time's up. I will ask you to times it up. But I trust all of you to present in 8 minutes because that's more time than last year's cohort. So you're getting 3 more minutes because you're a group. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay. And you can just tell me next slides. Anne-Sophie, are you ready with the timer?
Yeah. Ryana, is it okay? I'll start the timer.
Yes, it's okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So hello everyone, my name is Melanie Ricot and my colleague is Ryana, and together we work on our Capstone project entitled Solve the Problems Associated with Unequal Water Distribution Around Mauritius During Drought Periods. And Ryana has a passion for agriculture and geography, and myself being passionate about the marine world, we decided to work on a project that speaks to both of us, drought in Mauritius. Next slide, please. All around the world, people are experiencing the effect of climate change, let it be very high temperature during summer, sea level rise, severe cyclones or hurricanes, flash floods, and the list can go on. And here in Mauritius, for the past few years, we've experienced flash floods and drought, as it is the case actually in Mauritius. I mean, the level of water in our reservoir is actually low, and I've heard on a few radio channels that sensibilization campaigns are going on so as to make people more aware about the actual situation. And we believe that climate change is going to accentuate these drought conditions. And here in Mauritius, we notice that people living far from reservoirs have limited to no access to tap water during these periods. And we believe that by collecting information about how people manage their water supply during the drought period and in general, we certainly help in better understanding the situation and allow for a better and fairer water distribution around the island. So through this project, we wanted to make the gathered information accessible to the public and raise awareness among the inhabitants of Mauritius. Also, we think that our Capstone project can help in recognizing that certain demographics based on race or socioeconomic classes are more likely to be affected by droughts. And in order to gather information, we designed a survey using survey 123. Next slide, please. And through this survey, we wanted to know more about the location and the feelings of the inhabitants. How do they manage the situation that is during drought period when there is less or no running water, and what they think can be done. I now pass on to my colleague Ryana, who is going to give you a preview of the other products we've designed.
Next slide, please. Yes, so our second product is a web map using the map viewer. And as we know that we don't have access to many geospatial data in Mauritius, the reservoir vector layer had to be digitized from scratch, and a buffer of 5 kilometers was created using proximity. After the survey, where we collected respondents' location, that vector layer was loaded in the web map to show if the respondents feel that they live in a drought-prone area or not. Moreover, as this location vector layer sits on the buffer layer, we get our answer to our hypothesis. That is, people living further away from reservoirs feel that they are in a drought-prone area, with the exceptions of few outliers. Next slide, please. Then we have our dashboard, where important information from the survey is displayed, such as the number of respondents who participated in this study to have an idea what percentage of population it is representing and the main water sources that people rely on. As you can see, there's no big difference between respondents who rely on water tanks or pipe, so a further investigation with a larger target would be more appropriate. Next slide. And last but not least, we have our story map. It is a very informative story map that highlights climate change issues that our small island is facing. In addition, there is also the existing reservoir, their location, and their capacity. Of course, our findings are included in the story map. We hope that this story map will raise awareness where inhabitants can use the web map to locate their respective location, and authority may have access to the story map to plan where additional reservoirs should be built or where there is a requirement to increase efficiency of water distribution. Next slide. Thank you for your attention, and all the products are open to public, so if you are interested, you can use the link. Thank you.
And I will stop sharing. Thank you so much for this presentation. Congratulations. Like, we can all give like a virtual applause. Okay, so you can post your question in the chat directly, and or you can unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand to ask a question. So anyone wants to ask a question? We have time. So you can post a question in the chat. I have questions. Okay. We have a question from Adam Jenkins. What did you find the most challenging about the project?
For me, it was definitely time management, because being passionate, you always want to do more, but then you have to also manage your time in a very clever manner, because you have so much, everyone has so much on their plate already going on. So I think time management would be the main challenge.
Is there anything from this time management challenge that you learned? Is there something that you were doing before that you felt that you've improved on, and you used a particular thing to help you with that?
For me, it is mainly about the planning. I definitely like it's a bit more clear now how to plan things like a bit before and be more organized. I don't know if Melanie want to add something.
You said it all. I would say that for me, the most challenging was to gather information. It's a bit tough because not everyone want to answer the survey, as it's not a long survey, but it can take quite some time, and people sometimes don't want to answer. And we still hope that we'll get more responses in the future.
Thank you for your responses. We have a question from Jenny. Great job. Have you thought about connecting with engineers who design national project reservoirs to have a way forward on how they could collaborate in the future?
Not really, but that would be a really good way to continue this project, I think.
Any other question? You can raise your hand or post in the chat. I have another question, and that would be, you had a bunch of survey questions, and I always find with Capstone project, you expect certain answers, but sometimes you get answers that surprise you also from your survey. Besides not getting a lot of responses though, is there anything from your data that surprised you?
For me, when I was doing especially the map part, like especially the few outliers I mentioned on one of the slides, like they are quite far away from the buffer, but they do not feel they are in drought-prone areas, so they do not feel they are affected by the water distribution. So this part was a bit took me a bit by surprise.
Okay. Any more questions? You can post in the chat. I mean, they finished early, so that gives me room for more questions. I do have another question. I want each of you to share one key learning, and I can give you a few seconds to think about it, about going through the Capstone project. And it doesn't have to be on a GIS. So you chose a problem, right? You have a key learning. I want you to identify one or two key learnings that you definitely think this is something that is going to be useful for me, like in the future. It doesn't have to be the topic itself, but it might be a tool or a method. And you can say nothing. I will not be offended. It was just 6 months of your life. But I would love to hear one or two key learnings that you've had from working on this Capstone project. Melanie, you want to go first?
For me, I would say the story map was the tool I've learned to use and that I really appreciate. I've discovered a new way to disseminate information, and I can definitely use it for my future presentations. And the creating maps as well can really help in my future studies. So that's it for me. And I guess the dashboard as well. It's a really nice way to present information because you have every information on the dashboard and it is very concise. So that's it for me.
And for context, Melanie is doing her PhD. She's a PhD student in marine science. And I will pass it now to Ryana.
For me, it is definitely the survey 1 to 3. Like, I love the concept of survey 1 to 3. It seems much more easier to use it than the other platform. Like, everything is there. I can include a map. All the answer can be already summarized in charts and pie charts. Like, this is very useful, especially if you're still studying or even for research afterwards.
Wonderful. So one last call for question before I wrap it up. Okay. So if you have questions, you can post it in the chat, and Melanie and Ryana will answer it one more time, congratulations, you are done. Please stay on the call, even if you're done with your presentation. Very proud of both of you. Thank you for all the work, despite everything else you are working on. And I will now pass it to group 2 and to present. And Anne-Sophie also posted the story map. I believe that's the link you posted, Anne-Sophie, for their project.
Yeah. So I think there's their web map. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So group 2, are you ready? Oh, sorry, group 3. We don't have a group 2 anymore. Apologies. Group 3.
Yeah.
Navisha and Sharmila. Okay,
Yeah.
you guess.
Can you please enable screen sharing?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
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 Can we
Navisha,
start
when
the-
you're ready, yeah. I can also say, if you want to make it full screen, Navisha, I think you're the one sharing. You can do F11 sur ton keyboard. You click on the browser and F11. Does it work? You might have to hit FN, or did it close?
Yeah.
Sorry. Does it not work?
Yes, it's good.
Yeah, good. Awesome.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
I start the timer. Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
So we are AfriTech Fellows, Navisha, Goburdhun, and I'm Sharmila, Jogannah, and we are presenting our project on local business in Mauritius using GIS tools. So let's dive into the problem statement. Local businesses in Mauritius often struggle to gain the exposure they deserve, especially in the face of larger competitors. Our project aims to address this issue by creating an interactive and user-friendly app that highlights a diverse array of local businesses across the island. And our vision is to boost the visibility of local businesses in Mauritius. We recognize the unique challenges faced by these enterprises, and we are committed to providing a platform that connects residents and tourists with the incredible talents of our local entrepreneurs.
Let us now look into the different phases of the GIS workflow for implementing this project. It consists of 7 phases ranging from design to integrated experience. In the design phase, Survey 1-3 Connect was used to create a survey. It allows for advanced data collection with multiple locations within a single survey submission, which is a requirement for our project since a local business can have more than one location. The survey was created using XLS form and contains a variety of question types. The target audience for the survey was local business owners of Mauritius. The questions were carefully selected to collect information about their businesses. The survey was then published to our GIS Survey 1-3 app and was shared with the local business through Facebook and Instagram. After the survey has been shared, we have received 10 responses from the locals, and the data was stored automatically in our GIS platform. The collected data was then downloaded in Excel format. It was categorized systematically and was organized to make it easily readable by anyone. Also, the data was verified to ensure accuracy and eliminate errors.
So for data analysis, we use the ArcGIS Online from the Excel sheet exported from data collected in Survey 1-3 Connect. Demographics of local businesses of Mauritius are represented on the map, which have been modified in terms of pop-up and colors. For analysis, we have created 3 different dashboards based on 3 different topics that we wanted to analyze. So the first dashboard is on business strategy, which was created with the information on online presence of businesses, the model of businesses, if the businesses are open to collaboration with other local businesses, and the additional services that they provide, and also mode of payment that they accept. Another dashboard is dedicated to sustainability with information on sustainability practices implemented by companies, locally produced products, and locally sourced products. And the third dashboard oversees the main detail of the app that has been created with information such as categories of local businesses in Mauritius, number of local businesses in Mauritius, and an option to select district and region on the map.
In the next phase of web applications, a nearby instant apps was created to allow for personalized and efficient shopping experience. It allows users to search for local businesses, products, or services within the location according to their preferences, with options for home delivery, online payments, or locally produced products by using appropriate filters. The apps also act as a bridge between local businesses through the collaboration filters. This facilitates collaboration and partnerships among the local businesses. It also includes additional features like search radius customization, bookmarks, map layers, screenshot, and directions. Finally, to have an integrated experience, including the dashboards and the instant apps, a website was created. The homepage consists of an introduction, a mission which offers a snapshot of the core of the project, Let's explore the heart of Mauritius, which showcases the beauty and local businesses of Mauritius. A Mauritian business insight which delves into the data collected and provides valuable insight into the local business trends and practices. A final local business nearby which highlights the nearby instant apps. And finally, a community engagement board which prompts users to collaborate with us and provides the valuable feedback. It contains 4 sub-pages. The first sub-page, Mauritius Business Insights, explore the in-depth analysis of local businesses, including the free dashboards created. The second sub-page, Local Biz Locator, includes the nearby instant apps and user guidelines on how to navigate through the apps. The third sub-page, Collaborate with Us, displays the survey form from the design phase to prompt local businesses to collaborate with us. And finally, the About Us offers us insight into the project's vision, objectives, and benefits. It also showcases the incredible AfriTech team and the project team.
So there are some challenges that we encountered during the project. We have divided it into technical challenges and personal challenges. So for technical challenges, we are working with Survey 1 to free connect, working with multiple select data and integrating them on the dashboard, working with HTML code for the hub site. And for personal challenges, we have time management and no offline access. For future developments, we want to ensure that the app is accessible to all users, including those with disabilities. We want to onboard more local businesses on the platform by meeting them personally. And we want to implement locally based services to send notification to users when they are near a local business. So we would like to thank AfriTech team and all the stakeholders involved, such as local business owners also.
Now join us in taking action for positive change with our 2 impactful initiatives. Buy local, support local businesses and be part of the economic growth of your region. Shop local, shop smart. Let's build a stronger community.
Adopt sustainability. Start today by making eco-friendly choices, reducing waste and conserving resources. Together, we can create a more sustainable world. Thank you for your kind attention, and it's now time for question and answer session.
You literally did 8 minutes.
That was perfectly timed.
Yeah, that's perfectly timed.
This is an incredible presentation. I want to give both of you a huge congratulations. I'm very proud of both of you. You've really challenged yourself with, and fun fact, like 2 weeks ago, I told Navisha, like, you know, a hub site is time consuming to develop. And she's like, no, I'm still gonna do it. So I'm very impressed because I know how long it takes to develop like these multiple products. They're really time consuming, and you push yourself to go beyond what was taught in this program. I didn't show you how to develop hub site. I didn't show you how to use Survey 1 to free connect, and your team really like challenged yourself to use more and more of what was taught for the first 3 days, and I really want to give you a big kudos on that point. And I will say that now it's time for questions. That's still an important part of the process. I have questions, obviously. Anyone wants to post in the chat or just unmute yourself. That's just raise your hand, unmute yourself if you have questions. You have a message from Dr. Antoinette, who says, lovely work, ladies. Can you speak to how the skills acquired during the fellowship helped you navigate your challenges? And if I can hear from both of you on that question.
Yes. I would like to say thank you to Dr. Antoinette, who's also my mentor, for attending this session. During the fellowship, I have acquired mostly leadership skills, I would say, on how to be able to do the project, to actually lead myself, to be a better version of myself, to be able to do the projects within a deadlines, to set priorities, because as there was a lot to do, and with all the GIS tools also come the challenges. Therefore, I have to be like, develop my leadership skills and have a discipline on myself.
Thank you, Navisha. Sharmila?
Hi everyone, thank you for your question. For me, the technical things that we learned during the fellowship definitely help us to navigate through this project. But also on the very first day, when we met for the first conference, we talked about time management, and the tips that you gave us, Vero, was very useful in terms of time management, because I have so much going on right now, lots of projects, and I think that was the main issue that Navisha and I encountered. When she wasn't free, I was free, and when I was free, she wasn't free, so it was kind of difficult to agree on the time to meet, to work on the project. But using the tips that you gave us, the grid, to schedule our work in terms of what is the most important thing that we have to do, what can wait, if there are things that we can delegate, we can do it. So this was very helpful. And of course, the leadership session helped me a lot to open up, because I'm very introverted and shy. So overall, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I will carry this teaching with me that I got for the technical and non-technical part of AfriTech wherever I go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just correct me, Sharmila, you also Toastmaster?
No, I'm not. I just went to one session with Navisha.
Yeah, because it's funny, because Navisha, and when she joined, she had just joined Toastmaster when she started AfriTech, and she had said that she wanted to improve her public speaking skill, and Sharmila said that she wanted to be more like extroverted, and like doing more public speaking. I will say that you gave a fantastic presentation. If you hadn't said to me that, if I didn't know that you hadn't done GIS before, I could have thought you worked at Esri and were giving a presentation. It was delivered very professionally, and I hope you recognize like how much work you've done on yourself in the last 6 months on your public speaking, and how it has definitely been very successful for both of you, and I can tell. And we have a question from Jenny. She said, well done, superb hub site, ladies. What was the main challenge you encountered during the capstone and data collection?
I think for me, I would say for the data collection, it was difficult to onboard local businesses to fill the survey. There weren't many responses at first, and we were worried, so we had to reach out to people and ask them if they have local business, or if they know someone that have local businesses, if they can fill the survey for us.
Yeah, I know. I will say, realistically, any project like that in real life would take years to do the onboarding, the training, getting people to trust you. So don't be too hard about, and that's why I kept telling all of you, like, it's not about how much data you get, it's about the process you go through. And we have a question from Lavinia. If you guys wouldn't mind answering to it in the chat directly, because I want to respect time and pass it on to Geshna to present on her Capstone project. And if there's more time at the end, we can go back to having more discussions on the different Capstone project. And for now, I will pass it to you, Geshna. Are you ready?
Hi, yes.
Also, Anne-Sophie posted the link to the hub site, local business in Mauritius, in the chat. And the floor is yours, Geshna.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
So you ready?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm ready. Hello, everyone. My name is Geshna, and today I'm going to present to you our Capstone project, Electrifying Transportation in Mauritius. My team member, Jenisha, unfortunately could not join us as she's traveling, but nonetheless, here we go. So during this presentation, I'll take you through some facts about Mauritius. A little disclaimer here, I'm not going to talk about the sandy beaches and mountains, but transportation, and I hope that's not too boring. Next, I'll take you through the aim and objectives of our project and how did we leverage ArcGIS tools to develop our GIS products. Finally, I'll conclude and leave the floor to any questions and feedback that you might have. Let's start with Mauritius and a little quiz time here. I want you to tell me in the chat box, what is the population of Mauritius? If you do remember your geography classes or Google is your friend. And you have 15 seconds. And time's up, and a lot of you got it right. So Mauritius is a small island in the Indian Ocean with a population of 1.3 million. And if you look at it statistically, it would be fair to say that a little more than half of the population of Mauritius statistically own a vehicle. But only 1,200 are fully electric, which is only 0.2% of that 655,000 that we just saw. Which led us to think that maybe Mauritians are not aware about electric vehicles or have some misconceptions when it comes to electric vehicles, or maybe there isn't enough charging infrastructure on the island, which led us to our project with the objective to create a single platform that helps users gain information about electric vehicles, but also easily locate those electric charging stations, with the ultimate goal to create awareness about electric vehicles, but also promote the adoption. And in order to do that, we used ArcGIS online tools. And the first product that we created was a survey on Survey 123. So this survey was mainly to understand the views and concerns of Mauritius when it comes to electric vehicles. And we found that despite Mauritians are very well aware about electric vehicles, they do have some misconceptions when it comes to battery life cycle, maintenance cost, or even the policies that exist in Mauritius, which led us to our second GIS product, which is a story map. And we developed 3 story maps. The first one is on the history of transportation. This was mainly because we found it fun to kind of investigate what was the history of transportation. The next one was on maintenance and the maintenance costs associated with electric vehicles. And the third and primary one was on electric vehicles. So in this story map, we give you information about electric vehicles, the different types of them, the policies in Mauritius. And a very interesting feature is actually the road trip. So in the story map, we take users to a road trip across Mauritius while giving them little snapshots of the scenery that we see during that road trip. All that to say that you can go on a long road trip of 215 kilometers and still have charge in your car at the end of it. And this was for us a great way to demonstrate the driving range of electric vehicles. The next products that we developed was the dashboard and instant app. In the dashboard, the user can locate charging stations by filtering through provider type, district, and charger type. But to make it even more easier, we developed a nearby instant app in which the user can input their current location and the app will return electric charging stations within a radius of 1 to 5 kilometers. And the user has the ability to navigate to that specific charging station. And I'll give you a little demo here on the dashboard. And I want you to tell me, again, a question. What is the difference in the 2 red boxes that you see in the screen? And if you look at it carefully, other than the two charging stations being different, in one you can see the payment mode and in the other you cannot. Let's look at it from the user perspective. Let's say we are visiting this dashboard and it gives us payment mode, : blank. It would give us the impression that maybe this dashboard is not reliable. So in order to avoid that, we made the use of arcade and attribute expressions to make sure that if the data is available, it is shown on the pop-up, and if it's not, it is not shown. And you can see as well, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but there is the rate this EV charging station. This takes you to a survey whereby you can rate that charging station, or as a user, you have the ability to register and deregister a charging station. And with that, you would see that we've created 4 main GIS products. But that does not fulfill our objective to provide all this information on a single platform. And that's why we have the HubSat application, which is very similar to a website. And I'll give you a demo of that. So at the top, you would see that we give a very brief descriptions of what are electric vehicles. And in the learn more about electric vehicles, you would see the links to our different story maps that we talked about earlier, and also the dashboard. Next, we give you some key statistics about electric charging stations, and you would see the Find Charging Station. This is the link to the same instant app that we saw, whereby users can locate charging stations. Next, we have the feedback survey, and this is the same feedback survey that we saw in the pop-up earlier, whereby users can rate the charging station that they visited. And with that, we've provided and developed a single platform, and I would go further to say that we've kind of created an ecosystem whereby the user can get information about electric vehicles and easily locate charging stations. But it goes beyond that, because the user has the ability to engage with that platform and rate the charging station. And our plan is to use that. If we would continue to work on that project, it would be to use that rating and incorporate that data on the pop-ups, so users can see this charging station is highly rated, or this one is not, or even the users can register and deregister charging stations. So they have the ability to make informed decisions with the data that they are being presented with, but also to contribute to that data. And with that, we've come to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for your attention, and I'll now leave the floor to any questions and feedback that you might have.
Congratulations, Geshna and Jenisha, who isn't here today. I think you've done a really excellent job of really targeting you're absolutely right. You could have stuck to one of these individual products, but you had put in a specific vision to provide a unified platform. And I think it's very important to note that you have stayed true to the vision that you set for yourself at the beginning of the Capstone project. Again, like creating a hub site is not an easy feat. It's very time consuming. It's not as user-friendly as some of the other ArcGIS online tools, and it requires a bit more like planning and thinking. So the link will be posted in the chat. I will say that everyone is now free to post in the chat. Again, congratulations, Geshna and Jenisha. It was a fantastic presentation that you just did. And I think it's a really fantastic project, and how you approached it, answering some key question. Anyone has any question, if you can just post it in the chat, or unmute, or raise your hand, or concern, or curiosity. Anyone buying an EV anytime soon and wants advice from Geshna? Okay, I'll let you all think about your question. You can post it in the chat or unmute yourself when you're ready. I do have a question. So I did see, like earlier, Karuna posted in the chat, it's expensive. And from one, you've clearly been researching that topic for 6 months. What have you find on this, like the cost side of EV, any compelling argument that you find to encourage people to get EV in Mauritius? Or any thoughts?
I would say, yeah, I mean, the cost is really high. But if you, I mean, some people have bought an EV car, and I would say from their own experience that they've told me is that the cost of charging your car is actually very much lower than fueling your car. So if you would be spending, let's say, 8,000 in fuel, it would come down to 2,000 in an electricity bill. So that saving is very consequent. But I would also say that I see EV getting cheaper by the years. Of course, with I don't know if you know that Toyota is actually working on solid state batteries, which would be a cheaper alternative in its all sense. But it would take time for that technology to kind of become something that is established and standardized. But I would say that in the future, yes, EV will reduce in cost. But if you look at it on the operational side, it is really cheaper if you compare it to a fuel burn car.
Yeah, I think it's really pros and cons of, like, we can't just lump all EVs under one banner, also I will add. So I think depending on the make and model of the car, your cost long term will probably vary also. How much you invest in it, what is the make and model of the car, it's the same here, right? Depending on what brand of car you buy, it's gonna be variable based on that. Do we have questions? Again, don't hesitate to post in the chat. I will continue asking you a question, Geshna. Well, other people ask you questions. So what I'd like to know is, you talk a lot about the positive of the EV market. Have you find, whilst doing your research, some concerns around EV and what that could mean here locally? Because I know there has been issues around recycling of batteries and disposal of batteries, and we are not really good at waste disposal just in general in Mauritius. So do you have any thoughts on that particular aspect?
I think that's not a problem only in Mauritius, it's a problem worldwide. If you will look at Tesla, the fact that only Tesla can repair a Tesla car, and that's expensive, you would see a graveyard of Tesla cars. So at the end of the day, it's not, I mean, EVs are sustainable as long as you can continuously maintain that car and reuse the parts with which the car is made. And battery, you can have other alternatives, I would say. Recycling the batteries in terms of usage. So maybe if you would be using that battery for a car to go a longer distance, maybe reuse that battery to, I don't know, in shops, kind of, if they are lighting lights or some other UPS kind of applications whereby the load is not high, because a car would demand a certain load. But let's say in a house, if you have cameras, it would require a lesser load to kind of sustain in case of a power cut. So it would be to reuse the battery in alternatives that do not require that electrical load. But in general today, electric vehicles are not being sustainably disposed of. And I would say that's worrying in a sense, because I mean, even our cars today are not disposed in a sustainable manner. So I would say the disposal of vehicles today is not really done in an efficient manner.
Yeah,
that's my thought
absolutely.
on that.
Yeah, I mean, unless you constitute putting your old car in your neighbor's unused land lot as sustainable, it's really not. What happened to our old cars in Mauritius besides going on abandoned land? There is a question in the chat, but I want to be respectful to the other group. So Geshna, if you can tackle that question in the chat function. It's a question from Natasha asking you your thoughts about coal production and electricity production in Mauritius. So I will let you tackle this question in the chat. Please, if you have more questions for Geshna, you can post it in the chat. And Anne-Sophie has just shared the link to her hub site, Electrifying Transportation in Mauritius. I will really encourage you to take a look at it. The little road trip functionality that you have in your story map is really fun and amazing. Clever way of showing, you know, how much like energy would require to go around the island. I think it was a very, very ingenious way of using story map for showing this narrative and using web map to create this little interactive piece. So check out her hub site and check out her instant app on there. It's really fun. I will now pass it to last but not least group 5, that is Kobashni, Sruti, and Karuna. So you want me to share the screen, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, will do. Give me a second. The presentation just need to come on the right screen. Okay. Too many screens. Good. Are you ready? Just let
Yes,
me know
ready. Can I start, please? Is it okay?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you tell us when you want to start.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes, so hello, everyone. Our capstone project today is about understanding the business culture among Mauritian youth. And next slide, please. Together with my teammates, Karuna and Kobashni, we're going to walk you through tonight's agenda. Next, please. So this is the agenda for tonight. Next slide, please. So what we've noticed is that youth unemployment has become one of the major challenges in the recent years. And these young people, they often have a mindset of being an employee rather than being an employer. And what we hypothesized for our capstone is that if we create more awareness about this business culture among the young people, more youngsters would be encouraged to start their own. Next, please. So we've used survey 123 to get feedback on the reasons why these young people are not keen to start their own business. Next, please. And we have also created a web map to get the perspectives of these young people, depending on their geographic location, in terms of the districts of Mauritius. And I now pass on to Karuna.
Thank you, Sruti. So our next slide, please. So our research has been represented by the use of a story map, where we can see the testimonial of professional success stories, and we also gathered some of the government support systems. Next. So our analysis has been represented on a dashboard where we noticed that the lack of confidence, fear, and financial barriers are the main reason why people do not step into business. Many of our respondents were to consider stepping into their business after 5 years ago. Can you please next slide? And here are the responses. What is also impressive is that although there are aware of the government support system, they still would not start their business by using these platforms. And making a more profound analysis, it was due to, unfortunately, that the system are not well active digitally. So on phone and emails, we don't really have responses, and people need to move to Port with the capital so that they can get the proper responses. So I'll now pass on to Kobashni. Thank you.
So yes, so how do we get there now that we know what the problem is after our survey and the response? So while asking the questions in the survey, we found that the main themes that came up were like we need to have more awareness on the support institutions, like people like they know that there are some institutions, but the information is scattered. So it would be good to have like all the information as a one-stop platform. And it's also important to have increased awareness campaigns. And then most important, as Karuna said, the main challenge was like lack of finance or don't know how to get the capital. So it's important to try to find out how to get the finance, where to go and where to get the support. And the last one is our mentorship program. It would be really good to have mentors like those who have succeeded, who have started a business and who can actually come and give advice. Next slide, please. So yes, so we believe that with the right support system, with the youngsters getting the necessary support, it will make them more encouraged and be more prone to start their business. Next slide. So to conclude, what we as a group, we thought is that the first thing is most important is the willingness and vibe for business culture. If, of course, you do not have the passion for it, you will not want to start something. Because there's no such like the one stop platform. The information cannot be found like in specific spaces. It's very hard for the youngsters to get all the information and to get guidelines to feel more comfortable. And we also thought that there is the necessity to have more awareness campaign. When we try to Google, when we try to see if there are videos, where youngsters can watch, we actually didn't find much on local. We found more on how to try to attract, the foreigners to come to Mauritius. So if we can have more of these, local entrepreneurs to have videos, it would help. The mentorship program, like I said, would be important. And then while we did our survey, we also had testimonials from some successful entrepreneurs, and they gave us an idea how they started and the challenges they faced. And if these people can share their do's and don'ts, I think the youngsters would have much more information and would be more prone to start their business. So that was it from us. Thank you. And yes, any questions, we would be glad to answer.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on finishing your capstone, on presenting. And thank you, a special thanks to that team, because they kindly adopted Kobashni in the middle of the fellowship. So I really appreciate their willingness to incorporate a new team member halfway through. I'm congratulate you for all your hard work on your capstone, and Yes, it's time for question. If you want to post in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Again, I'm going to give it a few minutes, and while they do, I'm going to post in the chat. So when you design your survey, it was quite long. I had a lot of questions. And is there anything in your results that returned to you that you didn't expect and you thought it was going to be a certain way? Was there any surprises when the data came back to you? And anyone on the team can answer.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
So we have been screening a lot our analysis regarding who is answering, what kind of profile, where did they come from. What was really impressive is that there's a lot of our respondents who did have tertiary education, and they knew about the support system, but they were not able to use it, and also were not willing as well to start their business. But at some point in the of the 5 years of in the near future, when they would be more financially stable, or they had some very bad experiences at their current job, they would really think about making the business. And you can see the trend that the youth won't even figure out, they won't make the step forward with that, because they need to study, they have also different kind of ambitions, passion, there's a lot of learning. But once they are stable, making their life, building the family kind of stable, you can see the trend is different, the focus is different. So it's basically as from late 30s to 40s. You can see the trend.
Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts on the data and the results you got on the team, Sruti?
Yes, if I may add to what Karuna said. To begin with, the results from the survey were not very much scattered around the island. We got most of the respondents were found in the center of the island. Initially, we wanted to, one of our hypotheses was to look at the difference in perspective regarding their geographical location. We thought that people in rural areas might not be that informed about might not be into the business culture as much as people in urban areas. But what we found after the results was surprising, because all of the young people had a knowledge about how to set up a business or initial information about it. But what we found most in the responses were that they lacked confidence, they had the fear of failure, and they also said that the information about starting up a business is scattered around. So there's no one website or one-stop place where they can get all the information about how to set up a business, what are the facilities that they have to set up their own businesses. So this was the results that we got. So very different from what we thought before. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in this day and age, we often think lack of information is lack of training, lack of resources is the issue. I think it's really self-confidence, leadership, and walking people through how to do stuff and empowering them to do things is more often the challenge than just pure resources. Sometimes it depends. Two questions in the chat. The first one would be, how would you encourage people with experience in businesses to mentor youngster and or unemployed? I'd quite like to hear from, is Kobashni still on? Oh, she's still on the call. Sorry, I couldn't see all the names.
Yeah, I actually had an experience about this in one of my previous jobs, and actually it's called a mentorship program. So you basically have a pool of mentors who are volunteers and who want to share their experience. You basically need to contact them and explain the project, and then you get them on board. And obviously, each mentor would be from a different, business world. So it's obviously they have their own business and their own experience. So and they've developed over the years, like certain skills because they are successful today. So once you get them on board, and you can have different criteria for them. So when the youngsters can come in. Let's say I'm somebody who's interested to go in the food business, right? So let's say I'm going to choose the mentor who's got a success story, who's in the food business. And you can contact the person and ask questions, and the person can help you. So how did you do that? And this is how. So it's a mentoring program. So you've got the mentor and you've got the mentee, and it's basically sharing information. It's got no cost involved or anything, and it can prove really successful.
Wonderful. So next question is from Jenny. Very interesting conclusion, ladies. Have you thought about relaying the outcomes to any specific business platform in Mauritius who offer training in finance, since it is one of the challenges that also came up from your results? Karuna told me that she's planning to sell it. So, like, do you have some thoughts about, organization that might be interested in some of the data you collected? Anyone from the three of you?
I think MCCI really have a platform of young people who would like to push. Like they got the support system, but they are I think they are semi-governmental. And also EDB as well do have some platforms where you can have financial, they gather all the financial data and things that you need to know when starting a business. And lastly, I would say also SME Mauritius.
Yeah. Wonderful. We are at time for the presentations and the questions. Congratulations again, Group 5, for your great job. I want to give a special shout out to, so you can still fill in the survey. It was posted in the chat by Anne-Sophie right now. Congratulations to all of you. It's done, fini. Bye. Good job. I think you can give yourself a big round of applause. C'était difficile. Special shout out to Adam Jenkins, one of the mentors of the program and speaker. Merci pour ton aide. Also a secret maker of our PowerPoint presentations and supporting us. Special thank you to Anga and Anne-Sophie and Lavinia for supporting the program. You're gonna get a ton of speech like the next few days. Special thank you to Cindy Lebras on this call, who was a mentor. Really appreciate you giving to the community. Thank you, Natasha and Mera, for providing feedback on the Capstone project, as well as Jenny. We really appreciate you still showing up to the AfriTech community. I hear you even go and have coffee with Lavinia in coffee shops now behind my back, and I'm not invited. Like, no, I'm joking. That's the whole point of the AfriTech community, that you go and meet each other. A special thank you to Jemila also, who really drilled probably the word human-centered design in your head for many, many hours, saying, you got to understand your problem. What's your problem? So I really appreciate her for her help digging through your life's problems, your project problems, and offering an amazing HCD human-centered design workshop. This is it. We're done for the presentation. I hope you feel proud of yourself. You work really hard. I hope you're proud of each other for this incredible Capstone project. Je suis très fière de vous. And Jenny always giving me wonderful speech in the chat. Big congrats to you, Veronique. Thank you so much, Jenny, for being such an advocate for AfriTech porte-à-porte à Maurice. Like, I really appreciate that. And bravo to you, comme dirait Karuna dans le chat. Yeah, thank you for it. That's it. And anyone, Zukav and mute, speak up. Don't worry, Adam is learning Creole. He's just gonna have to learn really fast. Donc, si tu as envie, unmute, say anything, share. The floor is yours. Pas hésiter. And it's a very silent ending to AfriTech.
Merci, moi je voulais dire merci, Véro, vraiment, vraiment super. Je pense que I think each of us really pushed themselves, like for me and Karuna, sometimes like somebody was saying like being mothers, it was like just crazy. I call Sruti at almost, at 6 something, and I'm like, I'm still stuck at Bagatelle, you know, I need to run home. But I think all through the challenges, we really found time. It was like this desire, this, you know, happiness to make it, to, you know, do it and feel really good about ourselves. And you made it happen, like the AfriTech team made it happen. So yeah, really from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you so much.
J'espère aussi que from this experience, yeah, I know you're traveling, Jenny, but thank you so much for always showing up and being present. This girl is like everywhere. Like, I don't know how, like, I think there's more than one Jenny at this point. Like, I have a theory about her. So what I will say is, vraiment, I hope that you realize, like, this is what you accomplish in 6 months by dedicating only 2-3 hours of, sometime obviously more of your week to like the projects and to learning a new skill. You didn't only learn one new skill, you learned geospatial technology skills. You took a shovel and pure moto, and you digged into your own personal leadership questions for the last 6 months. Very difficult, ça donne mal à la tête. You really hone on developing project management skills by following a structure that you were not always familiar with and testing how you manage your time. And you really learn to think about your own wellness as you went through the 6-month program. Donc déjà, pour des autres, j'espère que ça vous fait réaliser votre potentiel, because I can tell you, like, not even potential, I don't even like this word. I say I need to stop saying that. It makes you realize how amazing you are as leader. Infini dépasse potentiel, like you're already amazing leader. AfriTech has made me realize how much I can accomplish with not a lot of money, but great people surrounding me personally. So I hope these are some key lessons for you. No matter how technical the question can be or how difficult or please go back to that first day in the computer lab training, your faces. Like, I should have taken more pictures of, there is actually pictures of your faces that I can screenshot and send individually. The look of panic. Melanie has probably won the award for the most terrified face during the free day. training. We should have done like a classement. She looked in pain sometime. So, je vais vous dire donc félicitations, because it was not easy. And, you know, I hope you realize like how much you've grown like over the last 6 Melanie said you mean every time. No, ça dépend des topics, Melanie. It depends what we're talking about. Donc voilà, je ne vais pas vous comme si vous gardez plus longtemps, mais je vais laisser l'appel ouvert si tu as envie, unmute, raconte-moi la vie, jusqu'à 9h max. Like, don't hesitate to just unmute yourself and just share your thoughts. Après, j'ai dit ça last Saturday, we all stayed until 3:30. Last time I said we're supposed to end at 2, and then we're still here at 3:30 for some of you. So that makes me happy. That means you don't want to go home. Est-ce que on a des thoughts? If you need to hop off, pas hésiter aussi. Like I understand you have a life outside of me.
I would like to add something. I mean, to share something actually. I'm sad I won't be here for the graduation ceremony. I'll be traveling. So this is the opportunity to say goodbye to you all. It was an amazing 6 months together with all you amazing ladies. And I've learned so much during this 6 months, and I'm grateful to all of you because it has made me somebody else. I mean, I wasn't that person 6 months earlier. So thank you very much for that. And I won't say much because I'm getting emotional, but thank you very, very much for this opportunity. And I love you all, ladies. I'll miss you. And I hope we meet again soon. So yes, that will be all.
We love you too, Sruti, and we're super sad que tu seras pas là pour graduation, but we're gonna, Melanie, tu as une photo de Sruti? Bring a picture of Sruti.
I'll try to connect. I mean, if possible, I'll try to connect during the graduation ceremony.
Yes, let's do that.
Yes.
Like, let's call Melanie on WhatsApp, and we can like make sure that you're with us in the graduation photo.
Yes.
Donc, félicitations, Ko, et vraiment, like, déjà ça commence, like, Alison m'a dit, I'm in tissue for graduation because last year we thought we were gonna cry, and then, like, we didn't have tissue with us. Donc, déjà ça commence déjà depuis aujourd'hui. There's still 1 more week. I'm super grateful. Et comme vous avez vu, I won the award yesterday. Yes, so it would not have been possible without all of you. Geshna was here. I got a big hug from her. Ça m'a fait plaisir. In fact, there was another mentor who won an award. Neha Ganu also won an award. It was your mentor, right, Geshna, Neha?
Yes, it was she was my mentor.
Fun fact. And allez, la hotline est ouverte. Anyone else come si veut partager? Anyone wants to say anything? Floor is open.
I'd like to add, if I may, just to say congratulations to you all. And it's really an amazing team, and what you've done with them, Vero, through that fellowship is amazing. I have seen them, some of them, with the welcome chat, and I'm starting to get them for the exit one, and I can say it's really, really transformative. You can see really that shift. I've seen it for the 6 months. I've been present only on the Saturdays, But when I hear you, every time I hear you, it's like a leap. Even though you don't meet every week, you don't have that kind of me time all together, but the transformation is here. And every month we met, there was a leap. At mindset, there was a leap in your way of your wellness. There was a leap in the response that you were giving. And I was sometimes, when we were sharing in groups, like, was it that same person saying the same thing 3 months back? But I kept it for myself. And I'm really proud. Thank you. And thank you for that opportunity, Vero.
Merci à toi aussi for all this wonderful contribution you've added to the chat. I think fellows didn't even remember that you were not a fellow, like for most time, because you were very much an integral part of the Saturday sessions. Merci d'avoir partagé ton expérience with fellows. It's been very enriching to go through this, like with all of you. C'est vrai, like there has been a big leap for like a lot of you fellows, and I can't wait for you to read your own letters. I think, which you probably forgot about, because last year everyone forgot about their letters, and then they found their letters and they're like, I had a letter. And I'm telling you this year, don't throw away the bag, the gift bag, without taking out your letter, s'il vous plaît. So I think you're gonna realize, like, you already kind of just réaliser ça avec les goals that you set for yourself, how much more you can achieve than the goals you set for yourself. Et like, Le 4 is a celebration, it's just a big party. There will be this hour ceremony. It's more partying together, but la fête commence aujourd'hui. Donc, Sruti nous vers les festivités with her very difficult farewell, but we will be thinking about you. And I think what we should do is we should try and have coffee afterwards when Jenisha and Sruti is not here, and we can do a remise de certificat for them in a coffee shop somewhere, and try and do this on a Saturday. I still have the key pour les cocottes. So if you want to do something on a Saturday, we can do like a half day thing somewhere at the coffee shop or dans le centre, so that everyone can like converge. And yes, with Adam too, you invited Adam. We'll see. What's your schedule like, Adam? What are you planning to do?
Inbound soon.
Yes, you better.
Yeah, I think from my perspective too, like, I get to watch from the background, and unfortunately I won't be there for graduation. I wish I was going to be, because I loved it last year. I got goosebumps all over multiple times. It's interesting to look at this fellowship program and hear little pieces of your stories today and through the other sessions, coming and sharing with you, but also hearing from Veho as well. And I think it's just what, like Lavinia is saying, this is very special, right? I think people changing is probably the most difficult thing that we do in life. And being able to work ourselves out of that, things that we put ourselves, or limitations we put in front of ourselves, or the boxes that we place ourselves in, it's the hardest work that we do, and it is the most valuable. And so to see a fellowship that allows people to do that good work, as well as equipping them with skills, it's amazing. We need more of that. And so I'm really encouraged for all the different little stories and anecdotes that come out of it that are symptoms of that change.
Thank you so much for your support. And pour la petite anecdote, last year, Anne-Sophie's mom gave a very touching speech, and Adam was like, I have no idea what she said because he's in Creole, but it was so emotional. He was so emotional about, like, she sounded like really passionate and moved by what you did for Aunt Sophie. and then I translated for him, like gave him the translation of what Aunt Sophie's mom said. But he was like, yeah, I was so moved by all of it. And he's a big support system for AfriTech behind the scene. Especially, we have an 8-hour difference. You know, he wakes up at 8 a.m., hasn't even had a cup of coffee, and I'm asking him 10 GIS questions, and he's thrilled by that. But he's always willing to support me, and I'm really grateful for his support.